You think about a midlife crisis, what do you think about? Panic? So after sharing my experiences and kind of letting you in my house, I decided to come downtown and see if I can find some other people and find out what they think a midlife crisis is. When you hear the term midlife crisis, what do you think of?
I think for women, there's the midlife, and then the crisis part, I don't know, I always think of men having a midlife crisis and then women having menopause, which creates a crisis.
Right.
I don't know, I guess I think of some stereotyped concept that, like most stereotypes, it's probably based on a certain amount of reality.
The first thing I thought was 50. The number 50.
Why did you think of the number 50?
Because I just went to a 50th birthday party a couple nights ago, and we sang a song. I rewrote the lyrics to New York, New York.
I assume it has to do with breaking the routine. I think that probably a part of the stereotypical midlife crisis is people just completely sick of what they've been doing, whatever it is, whether it's the marriage or the car or being the responsible dad. Want to cut loose from that.
When you think of a midlife crisis, what do you think about?
Not being able to get a hard on.
He's probably somebody that you don't want to go out with drinking with because you know you're going to get in trouble. But if you want to go out and get in trouble, he's definitely the guy to go out drinking with. When you hear somebody say a midlife crisis, what are some of the ideas that come to mind? DC.
People picking up and just changing their lives. Sometimes for the better.
Sometimes
for the not.
And I bought an RV.
RV. What was your vision when you bought the RV?
The open road, camping. And I bought a really old RV that all I did was scrape old mold. Anyways.
I will tell you mine. Wanted a change in my life, and so I went off and joined the Red Cross. And I just got home from deployment to New England after Irene hit.
I had a loss of self, and then I had to kind of find myself again, and I did actually go through divorce from various reasons, but, and then my partner retired also very young, and then it's like we were there stuck with each other, and then next thing you know, the relationship is dissolved.
Sense of scurrying, trying to recapture whatever you think you have left in your youth.
Is a midlife crisis a physical crisis? In other words, you're not able to do what you used to be able to do. In other words, I can do once what I once used to be. I can do once all night what I used to be able to do all night.
Actually, funny that you ask. One of the guys we talked to when we asked him what a midlife crisis was, the thing that he pointed out is it's not being able to get things to work like they used to is the crisis. So I personally hope I never have to confront this situation, but apparently it weighs heavy on people's minds.
I don't seem to have that issue. I'm not sure why.
You haven't had your midlife crisis.
Apparently being self-promoting at this point, which we appreciate.
Start spreading the news. Today's her big day. She's going to be a part of it. Old age, old age. Her Birkenstock shoes are starting to stray. She's going to be a part of it. Old age, old age.
What do you think distinguishes a midlife crisis from everything else?
The age. So one could easily attribute, just midlife crisis has a better ring probably than late 20s crisis.
Time to get a facelift, or time to buy a toupee if you're a guy, or go to the men's hair club or something like that.
So do you think men create their crisis as opposed to inherit it?
No, I think there's a real, it's sort of like, especially around 45, 50, you kind of go, oh shit, what was I going to do with my life? Or the things that maybe you thought you had plenty of time for, suddenly you're there.
Financially, where should you be? Otherwise, you could forgo the midlife crisis.
That's great. You know what I like about that question? Is a midlife crisis a financial statement?
You know, actually, that's odd. I think it is because most people, when they're going through a midlife crisis, they have a job, they have a decent income, you know, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think actually that has something to do with it. People who are going through a crisis can technically support themselves.
You know, I might disagree because, you know, we talked to one guy, for example, quit his job, wants to be a skydive instructor, got no plan, left it all behind. He kind of burned it to the ground and he's starting over. That guy clearly was having a midlife crisis, and he didn't have money before or after. There was something else going on completely.
But he had a job.
No, he was preparing to get a job.
Oh.
Go to school.
Go to school? Cool.
Go to school. Try. Put forth all your effort. Whatever you plan on doing, just get ahead of the game.
I mean, I feel very aware that, like I said, the meter's running. I really feel aware that this is it. Either now or when. I mean, this is, you are now in the now. And some people freak out about that idea, I think. Or you can take action and get an RV.